Hello, this is Blue Joe Saunders, WBO middleweight champion of the world. Subscribe to Sporting Icons to stay in touch with all the top news. God bless you all.
Hello everyone. So, breaking news, Billy Joe Saunders and Frank Warren have decided to part ways. And this is official, not a rumour. I know there's been rumours for a good couple of weeks now that it may happen, but it now actually has happened. In fact, we'll get into both their statements straight away. Then we'll have like a little bit of a chat about it. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button, turn it from red to grey. It's free and it's great over here. Now, Frank Warren's statement first of all. I've really enjoyed working with Billy Joe through his whole professional career and guided him to become British, Commonwealth, European and two-weight world champion. I'm personally very fond of Billy Joe and I wish him every success in the remainder of his career. And Billy Joe Saunders said this. First of all, I just want to say a massive thank you to Frank for everything he has done for my career over the past decade. Frank signed me after the 2008 Olympics and was with me every step of the way as I won the British, Commonwealth and European titles before becoming a world champion in 2 divisions. It feels a little bittersweet and I'll always be appreciative for everything Frank has done for me. We'll stay close. Billy Joe Saunders' statement. So, what can we say about that? It's a little surprising because obviously Frank Warren is really starting to make waves again here in the UK with some of the great shows that he's putting on. Well, I say great, very good shows. And he's closing the gap on Matchroom as far as UK-based shows, of course, is what I'm talking about. And Billy Joe, he's always been one of Frank's top dogs. As he said there, they've been together since he turned professional right up to this point today. And yeah, Billy Joe has an exceptional resume. A lot of people forget that. He does have a win over Chris Eubank Jr., David Lemieux, Gary Spike O'Sullivan, Andy Lee, and so on. Okay, he's got an exceptional resume, including those with John Ryder. But the problem is that Billy Joe, he wants the big fights. He wants the Canelos, the Golovkins. He wants all these kind of fights. And Frank Warren isn't producing them for him. Now, I'm sure it's not from want of trying, okay? And ultimately, Billy Joe, he wants the huge fights. And Frank Warren, of course, he's got a lot of things coming on. He's got a lot of youngsters coming through, like Daniel Dubois, for example, to take on Joe Joyce. And he doesn't really have the profile yet. It's still in infant years for BT Sport. Again, we have to remember that. And it's something that a lot of people felt was going to happen at some point, especially with Eddie Hearn splashing out a lot of money. Now, would it be a shock move for Billy Joe to be moving to Matchroom and Eddie Hearn? No, of course not. It'll be a little bit of a surprise, I suppose, because don't forget that Billy Joe has now moved or changed trainer and is now with Ben Davison, who of course trains Tyson Fury and Isaac Lowe. So if Billy Joe moves to Matchroom, Tyson and Eddie Hearn don't particularly get on. Well, I say they don't. They kind of, I think they play the camera villains, but behind closed doors, I think they're actually okay. But would that cause a bit of a rift? I don't know. Obviously, Hughie Fury has now signed with Matchroom as well. But people need to go where the money is. People need to go where the opportunities is. And I'm sure that Billy Joe, he's very, very happy with the fact that he's become a two-weight world champion. He's WBO super middleweight world champion now. And obviously, everything that happened with the WBO and the Demetrius Andrade fight, and he was blaming Eddie Hearn, and his own dad was blaming Eddie Hearn. Frank Warren was blaming Eddie Hearn for this nasal spray incident. So ultimately, he's missing out on a lot of fights and become very, very inactive. Again, not Frank's fault, okay? And it is a little surprising, okay? I'm not going to say it's not, but ultimately, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Billy Joe ends up signing with Matchroom. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Likewise, it wouldn't surprise me if he just stays a free agent because he is managed by MTK. Obviously, they put on shows, but he's going to want a little bit more than an MTK show. Of course he is. Unless MTK have got some massive plans coming out. You never know, because these guys are making huge, huge waves in boxing right now. So maybe this is going to be the plan. Is he going to stay with ESPN? What kind of contract did he have with ESPN and Top Rank? Again, we don't know. So all these things will be ironed out, I'm sure, in the next couple of days. But it's good that Frank and Billy Joe have parted ways amicably. Frank Warren and some of his fights don't always part amicably. And Billy Joe and Frank Warren will remain friends, much like with Liam Smith and Frank Warren as well. Obviously, Liam Smith is now with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. But this is where the opportunities come. If Billy Joe wants to become a two-time middleweight world champion, DAZN is where you need to be. Obviously, Demetrius Andrade's there, Canelo's there, Triple G's there, all that kind of thing. So that's easier to make. And of course, if you want to stay at super middleweight again, Callum Smith will be in the same stable. And Obviously, Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum, they do work together on that, of course, so they can always create fights between themselves or wherever else. So there's no great issue, I don't think, with him moving to Matchroom. But will it happen? Who knows? I mean, that's probably going to be the front runner. I mean, for me, I fully expect something, a welcome to the team for Matchroom from Eddie Hearn. I expect that in the next 24 to 48 hours. That's what I think will happen. But hey, listen, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Maybe he's going to sign with Cyclone Promotions. Maybe he's going to sign with whoever. We don't know. Or he's just going to stay a free agent, do a fight deal, much like Denny White has with Eddie Hearn and Tony Bellew had. Maybe a fight by fight. Just flip between promoters. Don't know. But either way, it's these guys have been together for, 11 years? So, yeah. Time for a change. Sometimes a change is as good as a rest. Billy Joe wants the big fights. I'm presuming he didn't feel Frank Warren could get them for him. And it is what it is. So anyway, that is the news. That's my thoughts. Please drop me yours below. Where do you think Billy Joe Saunders should go? Are you surprised that he's left Frank Warren? Anyway, drop them below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.